Borno State is one of the most popular in northeast Nigeria. Coming from the backdrop of over a decade-long insurgency, the state has been able to reposition itself as a model of socio-economic prosperity, an example of hope in the face of adversity. Welcome to Borno Restoration. I'm Jessie Tafida. But first, let's bring you up to speed with Borno today. This mega school has 60 classrooms, having the capacity of accommodating about 2,500 students. The students here will have free textbooks and bicycles to enable them have a hitch-free studies. For teachers of the school, 40 million naira has been given to the head of the school to pay as salaries.
Let me also re-emphasize to the people of Brate community that Borno State government will continue to recruit teachers in order to enhance the quality of teaching in this very important town. I want to assure the people of this community that government of Borno State will continue to provide the necessary support needed to drive the educational sector. I urge all the teachers to be dedicated enough with a view to impacting the desired knowledge to our own children.
The school is fully furnished with 400 numbers of school desks, 20 white marker boards, 30 teachers' tables and chairs, administrative block consisting of fully furnished 12 offices and a staff command room. 20 teachers have been recruited on contract basis to bridge the manpower gap in the school.
We are short of words to describe our appreciation to you for setting this institution here, which will serve not only Borno town but surrounding village as well.
Elsewhere, Governor Zulum opens a medical center at Miringa, which was said to have been completed and virtually commissioned in October 2020, but had no staff and was not put to public use. Fully equipped with modern tools, the hospital was established by Chevron through a collaboration with Agbami Group. Governor Zulum directed the recruitment of medical staff specifically for the donated and opened medical center. The education sector in Nigeria has suffered some setbacks due to issues of insecurity and incessant strikes by unions of tertiary institutions. In Borno State, government is working tirelessly to ensure its students stay in class. It is now making moves to cater for students of its tertiary institutions. 50 million naira has been released as scholarships for Ramat Polytechnic students.
This is a giant development to the educational sector in Borno State. And we are grateful to His Excellency for this, for his consideration for the plight of Borno State students. The Borno State Scholarship Board pay directly into the bank account of individual students. It is online payment through our bank and to the account of the beneficiary students.
The students promise to reciprocate government's confidence in them by taking their studies more seriously.
I would like to say a big congratulations to all of them, and I'm calling on them to utilize this little stipend as a form of encouragement. The governments want them to do well. For that, it is encouraging them. So I'm calling on them to be good ambassadors of their family and to also not let the government down.
The fund is going to assist us in our education because we normally use the funds to pay our school fees. That's our annual school fees. So honestly, is a something that we are thankful for, and we urge the government to continue with the good work. The government has already done his part by paying the scholarship. It is now left for us to work hard to also prove to him that we are worth that.
The state government has also promised to do the same for university students whenever they return to school. The Borno state government has assured to continue paying scholarship of its students so as to revive the education sector, which has been devastated by over a decade-long insurgency. The micro, small and medium enterprises (MSMEs) play a big role in the Nigerian economy and economies around the globe. In Nigeria, small businesses are the drivers of economic growth and financial development, contributing over 50% of the total gross domestic product. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, 55 to 68% of MSMEs are not adequately served by financial institutions, as barely 5% of SMEs have been able to get funding to meet their day-to-day obligations, much less expansions. Today, Smedan is officially flagging off a specialized skill development for IDPs and returnees.
We can imagine the difficult life they have in the IDCs, in the IDPs, and to resettle them back in their various homes. We feel that it's not just enough to resettle people, you have to economically empower them. And in the process, we're training them on skills, and also after training them on the skill, we also train them on how to turn those skills into money-making venture. And that's the essence of the entrepreneurship training. We are advising them that for them to be chosen among the 40 persons in the state is a privilege, and of course an opportunity that we expect that they should take advantage of. It does not end here. After the training, there will be other series of programs that will come subsequently, because our intention is after training we also have to handhold them.
With grants to be provided to the beneficiaries, it is expected that micro, small and medium business owners will increase capacity of their business for self-sufficiency. We have children in school and most of our husbands are idle. With this training, we will now be able to cater the needs of our families. We promise to use the knowledge acquired to boost our income and also train our children, thanks to Smedan. It is a fact that a country which fully harnesses and develops its MSMEs can rise up to become an industrialized nation and provide citizens the required job opportunities for enhanced productivity. 5,000 houses have been constructed and about 7 communities have been resettled.
Is ongoing across the state, and this is in line with the fact that government went to resettle most of the destroyed communities. Government went to return our IDPs to ancestral and traditional home, and that is why you can see a lot of construction is going on across the state. This is one of them. Here, Kalori, we constructed about 1,020 houses, and therefore it is a giant strike towards resettling our people. Well, we are so far able to resettle about 7 communities. That's cut across Marte, about 1,200 households. We have also resettled Baga, the major fishing town in Borno State. We have also resettled Benki town, which we brought some refugees from Cameroon and some IDPs in Meduguri and Bama. We have also resettled town of Kauri in Kondaga local government. We have resettled Ajiri in Mafalo. So many communities have been resettled so far, and that is why the construction is going on across the state for us to resettle more communities. Well, as you can see, the security situation is improving across the state. Government is trying to see that we almost resettle all the distressed communities before the end of this term now.
Continue to reach out to relevant institutions and collaborate with the federal government and others beyond the shores of Nigeria. He met with the President of Niger Republic, Mohamed Bazoum, in Difa to discuss the return of refugees to Borno State. With significant improvement regarding the security situation in Borno State, the people are now looking forward to returning to their communities, and Governor Zulum has been working passionately to safely resettle all displaced persons in the shortest possible time. Now, let's bring you our interview with the Director General of the State Emergency Management Agency, Yabawa Kolo, of the activities of the state government in addressing the plight of vulnerable groups. Take a listen. Welcome to Borno Restoration, Ma. Humanitarian intervention has been central to Professor Babagana Zulum's 10 Pacts development agenda. How will you assess the situation so far as Borno is now enjoying relative peace?
When it comes to assessing the humanitarian intervention of the state governor, we rate that one almost 100%, if not more than that, because the rating stop, the bar is 100%. Because you see his passionate concern to see that, that we have about 3 categorization. We have the remaining IDPs in some of the camps that we are yet to close, very few, at about 4 camps officially. Then we have the returnees across the border, those that are coming from Minau camp in Cameroon and also in Boso from Niger Republic. And we also have the host community resettlement. So whichever case you are focusing on, you see that the governor is doing very well in terms of catering for their welfare and their well-being.
Now that some IDP camps have been closed, rehabilitation and resettlement is in top gear. Talk to us about the situation of the resettled IDPs.
The situation of the resettled IDPs, they are doing very well. Even before they go, some packages were given to them. And even before they go to the location identified, we have a lot of issues into consideration, especially the security, the safety of the returnees. And also we go through our checklist, which has different sectoral identification. For instance, when before we take the IDPs, there are a lot of activities that we conduct prior to the the transportation or movement to the location. One very important one, we conduct a return intention survey. In the return intention survey, we sit down, we engage with them, sometimes according to different groups. Sometimes we engage the youth, sometimes we engage women, and sometimes the aged. As I told you, some of the aged, they are not willing to go back simply because they cannot trace their own original sort of chain of relationship, because during the displacement we have quite a number of separated aged persons and also the children, unaccompanied and separated children. For instance, now we've done with all the other camps. Before we go to Gubio, like 2 weeks back I was in Gubio to know the actual number of separated and unaccompanied children, so that when we go back to the settled community, they will not have issues. So far so good. It's all the resettled communities, we don't have even issues of attacks since they've gone. For instance, we even have overwhelming such an influx of people coming from captivity to those resettled communities. For instance, even the Ajiri that you see as small village and headquarters of MAPA, we were able to go and profile some of the villagers that came out of captivity, where we profiled almost 500 households. In Burma alone, we have such category close to 65,000 households. So you can see that we have a relative peace in resettled and return community, and the services are okay. We are able to give them the services that they are requiring from us. And for the humanitarian agency like NEMA, SEMA, what usually we do, where agricultural produce, the harvest is not that sufficient, you see the governor himself sometimes leading distribution activities. We go to them very openly, very frequently, to see that they don't like anything. You know, it is not the population is so overwhelming, and the resources sometimes government alone cannot cover all the needs. The resources of government cannot cover all the needs, but government is trying very hard to see that we provide for them, and the complementarity from the partners is also excellent, because even some of the partners are also following up with their tools to resettle community, to do some basic profiling, to do some basic checking, especially whether we comply with the Kampala Convention and other UN guiding principles on return.
Okay. Now bring us up to speed the plan of SEMA this year vis-a-vis the state government resettlement drive and support to vulnerable people.
SEMA for 2022, you know, we've already developed our corporate plan. So we do things according to the corporate plan, because that document came out of as a result of the institutional strengthening, the needs gaps analysis of SEMA, and we are able to identify, even at that time, the document was developed around 2019. Even at that time, we were able to forecast that one day all these IDP camps will be closed. And when all these IDP camps were closed, so what happened to SEMA? So in the corporate plan and with the law, the reviewed one, that is 2017 SEMA law as amended, we were able to sit down and study the law carefully. And based on that law, we are able to develop the vision, mission, core values, and also other short, medium, and long-term plan for SEMA. And in all this document, especially the corporate plan, the centrality of strengthening the institution, that is the agency, were very clearly projected. And also in that line, we are able to train and build the capacity of the staff to understand that the agency commandate is to move out or is to address or especially situation of emergencies, either natural or man-made disaster, as soon as prompt as possible, very prompt, especially whatever happened, the different departments were able to strengthen their title, their nomenclature, what have you, to see that they can move into action promptly to save life. First is to save life. Then second is to give them relief and succor for victims or survivors of disaster, either human error or natural that is happening. So based on that, even in 2021 projection, 2021, both financial and activity plan program, capacity building is number one for the staff. You have to strengthen the capacity of the staff that they will be well equipped, especially in the area of search and rescue mission, in the area of providing relief services, in the area of conducting organized distributions of items and not bought items. Also in the areas, if possible, we want to strengthen that organization to have GIS, geographic information system in place, especially so that they can forecast. What is happening. It is very advanced technology, but it's part of our very ambitious plan.
Okay, now what sensitizing message do you have for the people of Borno State?
Now the season, especially fire outbreaks, is very rampant these days. So the message that I have for the people of the state is to educate, no matter how little, to sensitize the people around them, sort of safe cooking practices. You know, our traditional method of cooking is exposing a lot of risks towards fire disaster because they cook very closely to that local makeshift emergency shelters that we have in the camps and some of the informal settlements in the host communities. So this is message.
Director General State Emergency Management Agency, Abawa Kolo, thank you for your time on Borno Restoration.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Yes.
And that's our package on this episode of Borno Restoration. Thanks for watching. I'm Jessie Tafida. See you next time. Bye-bye.